In the misty gardens of ancient China, beneath the spreading branches of a white mulberry tree, Empress Lizu sat enjoying her morning tea. The morning sun filtered through the broad green leaves, casting dappled light on her jade-green silk robes as she watched silkworms spin their mysterious pearls among the branches. A sudden breeze stirred the broad green leaves, sending a small, pearl-white cocoon tumbling into her steaming cup. As the warm water softened the delicate shell, the Empress leaned forward with curiosity, noticing a fine, shimmering strand beginning to loosen from the ivory-colored orb. With delicate fingers, she lifted the shimmering golden thread, watching it unwind endlessly without breaking, glinting like captured sunlight. The single cocoon yielded thousands of feet of this miraculous fiber, stronger than hemp yet softer than any wool she had ever known. Empress Lizu realized she held the secret to a material that would transform her kingdom and captivate the world. She persuaded the emperor to plant vast groves of white mulberry trees, becoming the mother of sericulture and weaving the golden thread into the fabric of history. Long before paved highways or cargo ships, a web of dusty paths wound across mountains and deserts, carrying a secret that would reshape civilizations. This was the Silk Road, not a single road, but a network of trails where the East first whispered its treasures to the waiting West. From the ancient capital of Chang'an, caravans laden with precious cargo set forth toward unknown horizons. Each bundle of shimmering ivory gold silk represented years of careful cultivation and craftsmanship, now destined for hands thousands of miles away. The magic of silk lay not just in its beauty, but in its remarkable weightlessness. A merchant could carry a fortune in the folds of a single robe. Roman nobles would soon pay literal weights in gold for these shimmering ivory gold threads, sparking a trade imbalance that drained the empire's treasury eastward. Few travelers braved the entire route alone. Instead, silk passed through many hands, each adding to its mystique and price. Sogdian middlemen in their distinctive pointed hats brokered deals in oasis cities, where caravanserais offered shelter to man and beast beneath star-filled desert skies. As the fabric traveled west, ideas traveled east, creating a two-way current of Buddhism, art, and technology that transformed both worlds. The shimmering ivory gold silk became more than luxury. It was the physical proof that distant civilizations could touch, trade, and understand one another. Though empires rose and fell, and specific routes shifted with politics and weather, the flow of silk continued for over a millennium. Today, the shimmering ivory gold threads remain not just in museums, but woven into the very fabric of how we imagine connection itself. The silkworm known as Bombyx mori represents one of humanity's most successful domestication projects, a caterpillar so transformed by selective breeding that it can no longer survive in the wild. These remarkable creatures, with their cream-white bodies and tiny brown head markings, carry within their cells the genetic blueprint for creating one of nature's strongest natural fibers. Every silkworm's life revolves entirely around the white mulberry tree, whose bright green, serrated leaves provide the sole source of nourishment for these picky eaters. Chinese farmers learned long ago that only the freshest, most tender leaves would suffice, requiring careful cultivation and daily harvesting to satisfy the caterpillar's voracious appetites. During their brief larval stage, silkworms increase their body weight by 10,000 times, molting 4 times as they outgrow their elastic skins in rapid succession. Their constant chewing creates a distinctive whispering sound as they consume mulberry leaves around the clock, pausing only during the vulnerable hours when they shed their old skin to reveal the larger body beneath. When the time comes to transform, the mature silkworm begins its most extraordinary feat, spinning a protective cocoon from a single continuous thread that can stretch up to 3,000 meters long. For 3 to 8 days, the creature moves its head in precise figure-8 patterns, never stopping to rest as it weaves its pearly white prison from liquid protein that hardens instantly upon contact with air. The silk itself is a marvel of biological engineering, composed primarily of fibrin protein coated with sericin, a gummy substance that cements the thread together. As the liquid silk emerges from 2 glands in the caterpillar's head and meets the air, it transforms from a fluid to a solid fiber stronger than steel of the same diameter. yet possessing the softness to caress human skin without irritation. Each cocoon represents one continuous filament, but the thread is so gossamer fine that it takes between 5 and 8 cocoons unraveled simultaneously to create a single strand thick enough for weaving. This delicate operation, called reeling, requires immense skill to prevent the threads from tangling or breaking under their own almost weightless presence. The farmer faces a crucial decision when the cocoons are complete: harvest them immediately to preserve the unbroken thread, or allow the moth to emerge and pierce the cocoon with its acidic saliva. Most commercial production requires sacrificing the pupa by gentle heating, as the emerging moth creates a hole that ruins the continuous filament, though some farmers always reserve specific golden cocoons to continue the life cycle. The harvested cocoons are plunged into warm water to dissolve the sericin that binds the threads, allowing the filaments to be carefully unwound and combined into raw silk that retains its natural luster. This precious material, now ready for the dyer's pot and the weaver's loom, represents the remarkable transformation of humble mulberry leaves into threads of gold. When the Roman Empire split in two, Constantinople emerged not merely as a capital, but as the guardian of silk's most coveted secrets. Byzantine emperors wrapped themselves in purple-dyed silk, so exclusive that merely wearing the wrong shade could cost a commoner their life. Everything changed when 2 monks concealed silkworm eggs in hollow bamboo canes, smuggling them westward to break the Eastern monopoly. This daring act, performed around 550 CE, transformed silk from a controlled import into a craft that European hands could finally master. In the imperial workshops of Constantinople, skilled artisans wove gold threads into heavy silks that shimmered like captured sunlight against mosaic backgrounds. These fabrics weren't merely clothing. They were currency, diplomacy, and power woven into cloth that traveled from the Hagia Sophia to the courts of Charlemagne. By the 15th century, the Renaissance had ignited in Italian city-states, where mulberry trees lined canals and guilds guarded weaving techniques with jealous precision. Florence and Venice became the new silk capitals, their looms singing day and night to create fabrics that clothed popes and princes in waves of crimson and gold. Sumptuary laws attempted to restrain silk's allure, forbidding merchants' wives from wearing velvet or restricting certain patterns to nobility, yet the golden thread refused to be contained. Silk had become the skin of empire itself, draping altars, lining coffins, and announcing status in every shimmering fold of a Renaissance sleeve. As the Silk Road evolved into maritime routes carrying raw silk from China to European ports, the thread that once bound empires through exclusive luxury became the fabric of a changing world. From Byzantine purple to Renaissance crimson, silk remained the golden standard against which civilizations measured their wealth, artistry, and reach. The 20th century brought both challenges and rebirth to the ancient art of silk making. While traditional mulberry groves still whispered with the sound of munching silkworms, laboratories began to unlock secrets hidden within the golden cocoon's spiral strands. Scientists peered through microscopes at the fibrin proteins that gave silk its legendary strength, discovering ways to enhance durability without sacrificing softness. New weaving technologies transformed production floors, where computer-guided looms danced alongside the wooden frames that had served empires for millennia. Then came the age of synthetics, nylon stockings and polyester blouses flooding markets with cheaper alternatives that mimicked sheen but lacked silk's living breath. For a time, it seemed the golden thread might fade into obscurity, replaced by petroleum-based fibers that sparkled under fluorescent lights but never warmed to the touch. Yet like the resilient silkworm itself, the industry spun new possibilities from apparent defeat. Consumers began to recognize that genuine silk possessed something no laboratory could fully replicate: the warmth of natural protein fibers against skin, the way light plays through threads spun by living creatures rather than machines. Today's sericulturists merge ancient wisdom with ecological consciousness, developing organic mulberry gardens and cruelty-free methods that allow moths to emerge from their golden prisons before the threads are unwound. Solar-powered reeling machines now hum in villages where grandmothers once stirred pots of boiling water by wood fires. Beyond fashion, silk proteins now strengthen medical sutures, create biodegradable electronics, and form the scaffolding for growing human tissue in sterile laboratories. The golden thread has become a bridge between past and future, weaving its way into spacesuits and surgical rooms while still gracing the gowns of brides and diplomats. From the cocoon to the cosmos, silk endures as humanity's first luxury and its most adaptable natural technology. As long as there are mulberry leaves to feed hungry caterpillars and hands patient enough to unravel the golden threads, this ancient art will continue its endless renaissance, binding us to our past while spinning toward tomorrow.